Hey, welcome everyone to Stepping Inside the Squared Circle. I'm your host, the Coach Chris Ortiz, also host of the Be Someone podcast, a Mr. Rick's production. And on this segment, we are going to talk to the young talent here at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. We're going to pick their brains. We're going to learn about the genesis of their wrestling dreams. We're going to talk about all the different things that the reality of wrestling can offer a young up-and-coming or aspiring professional wrestler. So without further ado, I bring to you Stepping Inside the Squared Circle. And making his way down to the ring, we have Josiah, the Rocket, John, straight to the top, baby. How you doing?
I'm good, you?
Man, doing wonderful, man. Long time no see.
Yes, sir. It's been a little minute. It's cool.
Been a little minute, man. You've grown since I seen you, man.
That was the plan, yeah.
About
But we
what?
back. We back like it never left. It's cool.
Looking what, about 2?
Yeah.
205?
Solid two,
Yeah, man, shoot. I remember when we first started training, man, like you were probably closer to like 70 or 75.
Yeah.
And now you're growing into this giant frame you got.
Yes, sir. We still trying to climb up,
Oh, yeah.
Trying to climb up, so.
I think you got the potential, man, to hold on to like 230, 240. If you just...
Yeah, that's exactly the plan, too. Trying to get to 220.
All right, man.
So, yeah, let's see.
Well, let's jump right into it, man. Let's talk about the genesis of your love for professional wrestling. Where did that emanate from?
Well, it emanated from playing a SmackDown versus Raw with my brothers. My big brother, I remember growing up, I always thought my big brother was the coolest person in the world, and he was playing the PlayStation. So I had to start playing the PlayStation and fell in love with wrestling there on the game. And then
Who was your favorite characters on there?
on SmackDown vs. Raw, John Cena, of course, was a big John Cena household. And you had your legends like Eddie Guerrero, and then of course Booker T was on there, so I had to be Booker T because that's the image. The first image of a black wrestler that I saw was Booker T, so I immediately gravitate towards that. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot of physical characteristics, that y'all share. I've even mentioned a couple of times that when I see you work, I think you favor, him in a lot of regards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the sky's the limit, like the name, the Rocket
Yeah.
would indicate. And I think that's a good person to be looking up to.
Yeah.
You spoke to me, too, in a previous podcast about, the love that you also have for wrestling with your father. Like, go into depth and detail on that.
Yeah, well, my father was the first person that actually took me to a wrestling show where I first saw it in person. I was like, okay, so this is where the WWE guys started to go, eventually to get to WWE. And then, of course, he was the first person that put it on TV to actually realize that there's a TV show weekly. So then, when I was a kid, I would look forward to getting home on Mondays and Fridays to watch wrestling and try to convince my parents to let me stay up late to watch the whole episode of the show. And
You had to go to bed early.
Yeah, I had to go to bed early. Could never watch the main event, But, yeah, my dad really put into me getting more into wrestling, showing me these other avenues of wrestling, taking me to the shows and stuff like that, until these little tryout things that were going on and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely was laying the groundwork for me to fall in love with it.
Was he a parent that whenever you came to him with these dreams and aspirations, like, Dad, I don't feel like going over here, I feel like doing this. Was he the kind of parent that warned you and said, son, this isn't a smart route? Or was he the kind of parent that patted you on the back, swatted you on your ass and said, let's go?
He was definitely be smart about it type of thing, because this is a field that you don't really know how it works. And it's so foreign in our community to someone to come say they want to be a professional wrestler and actually go for that. Because how do you go for that?
Yeah, but you hadn't seen enough people walk that.
Exactly.
That path.
So it's not like basketball, okay, you go to college, then you hope to go to the league. It's not like that. Technically, it is kind of, sort of, especially now with reality wrestling, it is kind of like that. You go to reality wrestling to eventually make it to the other steps. But I kind of think he just wasn't sure if I was serious about it or how serious I was about it. It was just going to be a little fling for me to try or something like that. But no, we had a lot of deep conversations about it. I was like, I'm doing it. He's like, all right, I'm here. If you need me, just call me.
That's wonderful, though. That's like the perfect example, though, of what a father should be doing. A father should be, warning his son against these are the pitfalls.
Yeah.
But then at the same time saying, hey, but if this is what you want to do, let's roll.
Yeah, it's
Like,
finding the best
so
avenues to try to make this thing happen.
kudos to your father, and I've said that in the past, and I'd still like to meet the guy because he seems to have put out one hell of a son, man. So, you know,
Appreciate that.
heck of a job, Dad.
Heck of a job, Dad. Yeah.
Tell me about your athletic background, and you kind of have like I want to say it's like a weird background. Is there like a amateur wrestling slash
Yeah,
band?
yeah. So yeah, when I was a kid, played football and basketball, just like KYF, and then eventually I met an indie wrestler who told me that if I want to be a professional wrestler, I should join amateur wrestling. I was like, okay, bet. As soon as I get to high school, I'm joining amateur wrestling. So before my freshman year, there was a wrestling camp. Coach I met, Coach Mario from Cobra Kai Wrestling. Shout out to y'all. Hope y'all doing great. So he actually had a club team. So I started there in the summer before freshman year, and then I joined wrestling freshman year, and I was off and going. And then I was putting so much effort and work into being an amateur wrestler because I wanted to be the best professional wrestler I could be. So that was always my motivation for being an amateur wrestler. So I was doing that all 4 years through high school. So then that's how that happened. I was also in band in my freshman year, they were wanting more of my time. I had to give my time to wrestling. So I was like, band gotta go. Band gotta go. I can't do both. So
Right? And hey, and band wasn't exactly what Nick Cannon showed on Drumline either, was it?
Yeah, you still remember that. That's funny.
Yeah, I remember that. We all wanted to be in the band after watching
Yeah,
that.
man. I was trying to jump. I was trying to hit somebody with a drum, I was ready to go.
Tell people, what were you wrestling at when you were an amateur wrestler? What weight were you competing at? Because like I said, you're a kid that's growing right now, at over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Where were you back then?
So freshman year I was at 106. Then I jumped up to 113. Then sophomore I was 120, and then 126. And I was always on the lighter guy, but I was always wrestling up to fill the void in the team.
Yeah.
So I was always wrestling somebody bigger than me, which is a good thing now. But back then, it's like, Coach, why you keep doing me like this? Keep having to wrestle these monsters and stuff like that. And like smart wrestlers put on as much muscle as they can, and then they cut as low as they can to dominate that division. So I just wasn't about cutting as low as I could. I didn't want to do that because I was trying to be a professional wrestler. I need to be a big guy. So it was very, very different experience, but a very needed experience. Wrestling these big wrestlers, having that challenge.
Right. It's almost counterintuitive to what you're doing now, right? Like
Yeah.
at the amateur level, like, hey, let me get as small as I can be inside of this package. And now at the professional, sports entertainment level, now it's like, I need to be as big as I can be.
Yeah.
Did it transition over into your pro wrestling game any? Like, do you bring some of that in?
Yes. So my technical game, my training, I can do that without thinking about it because of my wrestling background. Especially if you put me on the mat, I'm getting out of here because I already know what to do.
Mm-hmm. You ain't going to be put on your back for 3 seconds.
I'm not going to get put on my back for 3 seconds just because it's second nature to not be on my back. So
yeah,
I use that a lot, and I like wrestling with Brian Keith and Ninja Mac or Clay Roberts because they like to do the more of the shoot style wrestling.
Oh, yeah, the sweet science.
The sweet science, and I love getting there with them because their game is so elevated, so it elevates my game as well.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me, how did you find reality of wrestling?
Well, actually, I could just mention Ninja Mac was telling me I should go to reality wrestling because I started at another school. But he was telling me if I wanted to really make it, I need to go to reality wrestling. So he just kept telling me, go to reality wrestling, go to reality wrestling. I'm like, nah, man, it's not the time, man. I got da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he was telling me about just betting on myself, which is one of his catchphrases.
That's one of his catchphrases.
Yeah, bet that, Ninja Mac. So I was like, all right, I'm going to bet on myself. On Monday night, I drove all the way down to reality wrestling, 10,000 even at Flower at the time.
5 minutes down the way.
5 minutes down the way. And then I met Kevin, and he signed me up. And then the rest is history. I'm a name in reality wrestling.
Tell me, what is it about reality of wrestling that keeps you walking through those doors?
The talent that's been through reality wrestling and the talent that's leading reality wrestling right now. Like, my goal is to become one of those top names in reality wrestling. Like, this is a reality wrestling guy, and he made it here because he went to reality wrestling.
Yeah, it carries a lot of weight, doesn't it?
Yeah, like Roxanne Perez, she started when she was young, which she's a lot inspiration for a lot of the young talents that's come to reality wrestling. Like, it was crazy. I got to meet her at an NXT show. I was working backstage. And
what was it, driving 10 hours? Or was it 8 hours on a bus?
Just Greyhound bus just to be a reality wrestler, yeah. So she's the one that really like solidified like being in reality wrestling for me.
How important is it for you to see somebody achieve their dream, but to see them achieve it like from the beginning? Like, what does that do for you when you see that it's actually a reality? Because I think sometimes dreams are so far out there that they don't seem like reality. Like we can't reach out and we can't touch them. But like when you have a first-hand experience of seeing and hearing someone walk through the same halls as you did, ride a bus 8 to 10 hours into Houston to receive training and then get signed and then win a championship and then come home next month. Like, what does that do for you?
It just makes you feel like it's all that more possible to do. It's challenging, but it's possible. And that chance of it being possible makes you think like, you got to take that chance.
Yeah.
Even if you miss, how far could you go?
Yeah.
If you actually put 100% into something.
Yeah. So right now you find yourself putting 100% into this?
100% into this, yeah.
What does 100% look like?
100% looks like training every day, lifting every day, and studying wrestling every day.
Explain.
Like your film study, watching how people move, how people talk, how people wrestle, when they do this certain thing, when they do that, and learning how to watch people move a crowd emotionally, which has been one of the more challenging things for me as a performer, learning how to move a crowd emotionally and take them on that roller coaster that is professional wrestling, telling that story and taking them on a ride.
Yeah.
Like I love that up and down factor when you can get a crowd go up and here whenever you need them to be. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh my God, it is. And it's a science too, right?
Yeah.
It's more than just coming out here and, chopping people in the chest and slamming people. Like there's fine theater that's going on, opera, musical, an award-winning movie all taking place, and you get one take, and you can't screw it up, man.
Yeah, cannot screw it up. But that's luckily I'm at a school that's always about the test, and for me the test is the show day.
Yeah,
you took in all these quizzes in training, took these practice tests in training, you learned all these lessons in training, and then the show day, that second Saturday of the month, this is the test. All right, we're gonna put you in this situation, and we need you to get this outcome.
Tell me, this is regarded as one of the Ivy League wrestling schools, from all across the country and world for that matter. But tell me, what is it that separates this school, from just another wrestling school like the one you wanted to attend over there with Ninja Mac originally? Why is this one different? How is it different? How does this get you prepped for what's coming?
We have a state-of-the-art facility, as you can see. Here we are right now.
Gorgeous.
The training rooms in the back, the coaching staff. We got Ryan Davis and Brian Key, two top trainers. You got Booker T, two-time Hall of Famer, five-time world champion. And just one of the most decorated champions is leading this ship right here. You can't get that anywhere else. No. You cannot get that anywhere else except for here at Reality Wrestling. That's why we're at top of our game, top of Texas, leading the ship.
What are a couple of words of advice that a book had bestowed upon you that's unique to you that you can reach back and remember?
Some advice for him. For me personally,
yeah, for you.
I feel like I have to hear it every 3 months from him. To me, is just to be patient and trust the process. Like he's had to tell me that a few times. Just be patient and trust the process, and that you're going to make it if you stick to it. You're going to make it, kid. And hearing that from your childhood hero is like one of the craziest things. Like that belief in me is like I sit back and I think about that. All right, just be me, because being me just got me to the dance.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to be me and amplify that.
What does that do for you, hearing it from a childhood hero? Because most people don't get to meet their heroes, much less get, tutelage from their hero, to get life advice from their hero, to get career advice from their hero. Like, what does that do for a young man like yourself?
It just lets me know that I'm right where I need to be. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what it lets me know. I don't have any doubt when I'm in this ring. It's like, as crazy as it sounds, like, a little bit of what it takes to be in here. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have any doubt when I'm in here.
No. And as a fan, I don't got any doubt with you too. I regard you as a blue chipper. Mm-hmm. Again, I've grown up a wrestling fan, but I also see, what you bring to the table, and there's not a single doubt in my mind. And I've been pretty consistent with this, man. I've been letting you know for a minute, I see it. You know, so hopefully, you know, you see it too. And I see something different in your eyes. I think
Yeah.
you see it now too,
Yeah,
which is most
most
important.
definitely. Yeah.
Let's talk about you being on your deathbed. You're 85, 90 years old. You've lived a wonderful life.
Okay.
What wrestling wise, you know, has happened for you in between here and there?
That's
Like,
interesting.
What goals?
That's an interesting question. I would like to say that I signed with the WWE, had a good career, a world champion, I've traveled around the world wrestling, performing in front of people, entertaining people. I would definitely want to be in the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, that is. And I want to be someone that inspired the next generation. Like, I remember my heroes and what they did for me. I want to be able to do that for other people's kids and their kids' kids. I want to be like, I want to be someone to be my dad and get so excited when they find out The Rock's on TV. I want to be that. I want to make the adults feel like a little kid again when they see Josiah John on TV.
Yeah, that's exactly what wrestling does. You
Yeah.
know, I haven't thought about it, but it does. It brings me back to feeling like a kid again. I like how you said that. That's legacy.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you make sure that you live many lifetimes
There it
beyond your own. What advice do you have for young and up and coming wrestlers that are thinking about, you know, joining a professional wrestling school or, you know, taking a similar route? Give them 3 pieces of advice.
My biggest piece of advice is that you can control what you do. So the work that you put in, that's all on you. It's not on anybody else if you didn't get this opportunity or you didn't make it here or you fumbled the ball there. That's all on you. You got to be proactive in what you do and what you can do and what you can't control. You going to the gym, that's on you. You going to training, that's on you. But if you're looking for a wrestling school, of course, I would say reality wrestling. But there are other schools and other options you can take. Just take the right path. It doesn't have to be the easiest, but just take the right path for you and your career. And have an idea of what you want to do with your career. Don't just go in blind. Just doing, like have an idea of where you want to go. And then find the best school that matches that path, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck. I think you're, you know, destined to do wonderful and great things. As long as you stay on this path, hopefully you know that the path isn't as straight one, though. Sometimes that path takes you down here. Sometimes it takes you up to the top, like where only a rocket could get, right? But you see what I did there?
I saw it, man. I saw it. That was good. That was good.
But I know you're destined for wonderful things, man. So I love you. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. And thank you, man, for joining us on this maiden voyage of stepping inside the squared circle.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, hey, take care, man. Have a blessed one.